Hey everyone, welcome to CryptoData. So we're going to give it about a couple minutes, wait for everyone to get in here, and then we'll go ahead and start this live stream. Hey, what's going on, Brent? Good to have you here, man. Glad to see you could join. Let me actually go ahead and make you a moderator since I'm surprised I haven't already. So I've seen you definitely comment on my videos and supporting the channel, so appreciate that. And again, it'll just be about another minute and a half, and then we'll go ahead and get this stream started. Basically, we're just going to talk about like the recent bounce, that happened, and if I think we're going to continue, if I think that was the bottom, and then a couple of good news articles that I found today that is going to be good to cover. So in the next minute, then we'll go ahead and start, and yeah, good to cover all that. So it'll be a good show. Okay, so got a couple people in here, so let's go ahead and get started. So looking at the market right now, we can see Bitcoin is up, 10% today, $8,153. That's great. Basically, having another green day, basically 2 in a row, is very, very bullish for cryptocurrencies and, the future in general as we move towards another rally. We have Ethereum here at $817, up 10%. Ripple 76 cents. Bitcoin Cash 1,015. Cardano 35 cents. Litecoin up 7% to 146. And then Neo has actually been performing really well. It's one of the better performers out there, up 14% to $113. And then Stellar 36 cents. EOS $8.26. And then NIM at 54 cents. So looking at Bitcoin, we can see right now it's actually at $8,217. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the hourly chart, and this is on Bittrex. And this was the previous inverse head and shoulders pattern that I drew on my last video. And you can see here, the left shoulder, head, and then the right shoulder here. So it's played out perfectly so far. We can see here we've made higher lows. So it's, it had a little consolidation in this mode, and then it bounced here at about the $7,500 level. So they're showing some good support there. And now it wants to retest, previous highs, which right now I mentioned the resistance it had previously was about 8,300. So if we can get over that and then, break over this $8,500 level that it previously got to, then we can start looking at this 9,500, which is the major resistance. So again, we're going to keep an eye on these levels. And mentioning, inverse head and shoulders here, which is a bullish pattern. let's go ahead and actually look at the 4-hour chart, which is also could be another inverse head and shoulders forming up. But we can see here, this is kind of the left shoulder here. You can see, and then the head is right here. And possibly, I mean, it's very, very, it's not to scale here. But basically, if we get this head, theoretically, it could go all the way up to this previous resistance here at 9,500. And then we'll have another pullback to about the 8,200 here. And then go back up and retest that 9,500 and then go from there. So that's if this is, another inverse head and shoulders forming here, what we can possibly expect out of that. And then looking at the daily chart here, the 1 day, again, this is another kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern. So we have here this left shoulder right here, and then we have this head starting to form. And again, if this head forms, then we could see this going up to this left shoulder here at about $11,008, about $12,000 here. So again, definitely some bullish action here. There's inverse head and shoulders on all 3 charts. Definitely good to see that. And again, this RSI on the daily is very oversold, so it's good to see it's turning around right now. This stock is the same way. It's turning around, and just a lot of bullish signals right now. So, definitely something to keep in mind as we move forward. And I'm going to go over some articles and basically what I think, is going to happen towards the future and just what I've seen with news. So, One Man Army says Binance is down. This blows. Yeah, so those who don't know, Binance actually went down today for maintenance. So if you go on their Twitter, you can see that they posted here that 5 hours ago, system maintenance is in progress. Some users may experience a temporary decrease in exchange performance while this is underway. Thank you for understanding. And then basically it's because, they had a significant increase in users and trading activity. They'll need to extend the system upgrade. And you click on here and they say it's expected to be completed by 2 p.m. UTC time. So it would have been great, if they would have told everyone ahead of time when this was going to happen, so people wouldn't be panicking and thinking, oh my gosh, they're getting hacked or something. So just, it's good to know that they are putting out tweets as what's going on. So I understand though that they had a large influx of new users and they had to shut that down for a little bit while they upgrade their systems to be able to handle the volume. So right now, again, they're just upgrading their system so they can handle more users and the trading volume. So again, hopefully, it ends at the time they say, and we'll see what happens from there. So looking at some news. So this is just one article I found, and it says top 5 coins with strongest recovery recently. So this is some of these coins you may have not heard of. Basically, it says Internet of People, 50% recovery, Funfair, Decentralized, or Decentraland, Power Ledger, and then Global Currency Reserve. So 2 of these I was talking about, Funfair and Power Ledger. There's some big YouTubers that are actually very bullish on these 2 currencies. That's why I want to share this article. Those may be 2 that are to keep in mind. I know they do have some big announcements coming up, and they have been working a lot in the background. So just keep an eye on those. But I thought it was just a cool little article. It showed the top 5 coins, and I know Internet of People is popular with some people. So another article here is by Forbes, and one of the reasons I wanted to pull this article up is basically Forbes is huge business news outlet, and it says they wrote an article here: is Bitcoin's risk on trade back in play? So basically they were writing, how Bitcoin was going down and it traded low, below 6,000 late Monday night, but since has rebounded to about 7,700 Tuesday evening. And one of the things they say here is basically the risk trade is back in play. So Bitcoin is showing, bullish movement right now, and they believe that it is a great time to get in versus risk reward. And they mention here how, the Dow for the S&P 500 and the stock market has recovered the 567 points that it lost on the day before. So I thought this was pretty good. It also covers the SEC and the CFTC testimony, and mentions, it was pretty bullish, and then mentioned Giancarlo's, his comments, which he was the head of the CFTC, and he's basically the face of that meeting. I mean, he was super bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and long story short, what he was saying is, hey, I think that we should give these a chance. This is great technology. And, if our young investors like it, then we should definitely help implement it and, really use it to its full potential. So they highlight a lot of that in here, and I think it's definitely good news, and basically, you know, showing some bullish news for once on these news outlets, because they were very, very bearish the past couple of weeks. So I want to tell you that, and also mentioning the stock market, and because it mentioned it in this article, Wells Fargo actually came out 4 hours ago. This is an article on CNBC, and it's saying Bitcoin and the market are correlated, and they're talking about Bitcoin and the stock market. So they talk about here, it says, basically it talks about the stock market selling off, and then it talks about, you know, they think that part of that was to cryptocurrencies selling off. So it says, if you go and read down here, it says Wells Fargo raised its price target for equities up about 10% over the next year. Its 2018 S&P 500 year target is 2,950 compared to the earlier target of 2,863. Cryptocurrencies and the market should trade in correlation over the next 3 to 6 months, it said. So going off of that alone, I mean, if they're bullish, basically what they're saying is, if the stock market's going to go up, then cryptocurrencies are going to rise with it. If cryptocurrencies fall, the stock market's going to fall. So if they're expecting they're raising the target on the stocks, then they're effectively saying they're raising the target on cryptocurrencies as well. So they kind of have to be bullish on both if they think these two are correlated, which is great for us, because then it kind of puts everyone on the same page, and it kind of rises up, you know, cryptocurrencies with the stock market. So I thought this was great news. And it says, if we're right and risk starts to bid again, it wouldn't surprise us to see a bid in some of the crypto markets. So again, you know, just some more bullish news, and it's great to see that if they do see those correlated, that you know, cryptocurrencies are here to stay and are going to be bullish along with the stock market. So that was some good news I wanted to go over. Another article that was published today was another article by CNBC, and the Winklevoss twins. Basically, they were, you know, they were involved in the lawsuit with Facebook, and but they're real popular for investing in Bitcoin when it was very cheap. Basically, they sued Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg stole their idea. They got some settlement money in the figure of around $60 million. I believe they took a large chunk of that and invested it into Bitcoin at the time, and they became the first Bitcoin billionaires. So they also have an exchange, you know, Gemini. They're the founders of that, and they're really, really big proponents of cryptocurrencies. So an article is published today, and it says, Bitcoin will someday be worth as much as 40 times its current value, says Cameron Winklevoss. So it says the cryptocurrency had a market capitalization value of $135 billion on Wednesday. 40 times this would be over $5 trillion. Brother Tyler Winklevoss hit back at Bitcoin critics, saying that any criticism is a failure of the imagination. So these guys are super bullish on Bitcoin. Basically, when they bought all that Bitcoin with their Facebook, you know, settlement money, they didn't sell any of it. So they became the first crypto billionaires because they held it. And I don't know what price they got it at. I think it was maybe $700 or lower. But they've held it all through this volatility. And that shows you, for them to have that much invested and to still hold it through all the volatility, that tells you they're in this for the long haul. So, you know, it always helps to have such strong proponents of cryptocurrencies and really pushing towards adoption. So it basically talks here that they think that they compare Bitcoin to gold again, and you know, people are looking at Bitcoin as a store of value like gold. And they mention though that Bitcoin has a lot more going for it than gold does. So we can read here, and it says it talks about basically gold, and it says taking Bitcoin in isolation, we believe Bitcoin disrupts gold. We think it's a better gold if you look at the properties of money. And what makes gold gold? Scarcity. Bitcoin is actually fixed in supply, so it's better than scarce. It's more profitable and durable. It sort of equals a better gold across the world. So basically what they're saying is, you know, people know how much Bitcoin's available. There's a finite amount. They know exactly how much is available. And they say gold right now has a market value of $7 trillion. So Bitcoin, if it's at 100 billion market cap today, 40 times that is about $4 trillion. So they kind of compare it, you know, and basically they say Bitcoin is the future gold. So, and it also mentions here that they actually talk about autonomous cars. So, you know, those who don't know, autonomous cars, kind of like what's in Tesla right now with the Tesla autopilot, the car drives itself. For full autonomy, they say they say here, it says, the other Winklevoss twin described a world in which driverless cars may pay other cars or large number of devices will be making micropayments, in which case digital currencies will be very useful. So again, there's going to be multiple uses. Basically, it says machine to machine, trade economic value, to plug into protocols like Bitcoin and Ethereum. People won't need bank accounts anymore. Just a lot of uses for cryptocurrency. So I think this is great that they're talking about this, and they're really, they're getting Bitcoin in the mainstream again and getting that positive sentiment again that, hey, Bitcoin's going to be 40 times its current value in the future. And they gave, 10 to 20 years, of course, but they mentioned that. And then CNBC was also mentioning an article that Bitcoin could hit 1 trillion market cap, or cryptocurrencies could hit 1 trillion market cap this year, and Bitcoin will reach 50,000. So there's a lot of bullish news coming out, and this is another article I wanted to cover. So Lorenzo says, hey man, could you share some thoughts on KCS and the Kucoin Exchange? I've seen a lot of FUD spread around lately. Hey Lorenzo, what's going on? Good to have you. So yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about KCS. I believe that's Kucoin shares. So those who don't know, I think you get, whenever you hold Kucoin shares and you kind of stake them, then you get some rewards, over time for holding them. These actually started rising a lot whenever the Kucoin Exchange came out. So at first, they were really cheap. I mean, Kucoin, before Kucoin got popular, you can see here that these shares were, south of 50 cents. So they were like, 40 cents, and people started buying them up because the exchange was getting more popular. And basically what got Kucoin on the map, they were one of the first big exchanges to list Dragon Chain, which is a great ICO and a coin that I'm very bullish on long term. But they were first to list that and list a lot of these new coins with their ICOs, like on the Neo blockchain, such as Deep Brain Chain and a couple others. So they quickly became one of the biggest exchanges, and then that's why you saw these shares rise from 40 cents all the way to a high of nearly $20. So right now, it's $5.83. As far as Kucoin Exchange, I mean, I still like it. The only thing with them I've noticed is their customer support is really lousy. I'm trying right now to get a refund. Basically, a transaction ran out of gas, and I'm still waiting for that refund back to my account. It's been 17 days. So that's one thing that I don't like, but I do like that they are, they do have a lot of the latest coins, and they do, are some of the first people to list those. So as far as Kucoin shares is concerned, as long as Kucoin keeps updating their servers and the amount of volume they can handle, and actually, help to kind of better their customer support, I would be bullish on them. I mean, it seems like more and more users are signing up for Kucoin because one, Binance is being slow on accepting new users, Bittrex is being slow, and then, all these exchanges kind of can't take new users right now. So as more people get into cryptocurrencies, they're going to look at, okay, what's the next popular exchange? Kucoin. Oh, Kucoin shares is one of the first coins to come up. They buy that. They see they get bonuses for holding it, and it kind of grows from there. So, I'm still, bullish on Kucoin shares. I personally don't have any. I don't think I'm going to buy any just because it's run up so much. But again, I don't think it's a bad hold just because Kucoin Exchange is still growing a lot. So, but again, if you have stuff on Kucoin Exchange, I mean, I'd recommend holding it in an offline wallet unless you're going to trade it fairly soon. But again, I think having anything on any exchange, it's always risky. So just keep that in mind moving forward. But yeah, that's my opinion on Kucoin and Kucoin Exchange. And then Pieces says, hi all, this is my strategy for all to buy more cryptos. Play 1377 and 7211 and 5 dimes, hit it straight, 9K, good luck. All right, well, let's say have to look at that. Lorenzo says, what do you think about the referral program? I heard they removed it. Yeah, Lorenzo. So Kucoin Exchange actually had a referral program where basically if you sign someone up, like you had a referral link, and if someone signed up through that link, you got a small percentage, I think it was 50% actually, of their transaction fees. So, and you got that in the coin that they traded. So for example, say someone signed up under your link and then they bought like Bitcoin. Then say the transaction fee was, I don't know, let's just say, $1 for buying Bitcoin or $2 for buying that amount of Bitcoin. Well, you would get, $1 of that if you got 50% of it. And so then $1 of whatever Bitcoin was, you would get like 0.0001 Bitcoin, and that would be kind of added to your account. And then, so you'd have like all these different coins from people that have signed up under you. And I mean, it's a little bit of money. I mean, it's not a lot, you know, like, you know, 20-30 bucks if you got some people to sign up under you. But yeah, they did discontinue that. So I believe it was, oh, I want to say it was about a month ago they discontinued that, because I noticed that it doesn't have the invitation bonus when you go to the Kucoin Exchange at the top. There's no invitation bonus there. But they did, any people that signed up under you, you still are getting those extra, you know, free coins for all those transactions that they're still doing. But you don't get any bonuses if anyone signs up under you now. Since I think that was more just like a, hey, you know, we're a new exchange, help spread the word and grow their user base. Now they have over 2 million people, so they kind of don't need that anymore, and they just kind of want to pocket that money themselves. So that, I think that was just a promotional thing for them. But you know, hopefully some of y'all got in on that, because it was a very good deal if you were able to get people to sign up under you. So it kind of helped increase the awareness of the Kucoin Exchange and just grow that database. So, but yeah, good questions. So another article I want to cover is this one here that was published today on ABC News, and it says Bitcoin is gaining currency in political campaign donations. So getting campaign donations is a big deal, you know, for people in politics. Basically, you know, you get charities to donate to you, you get people to donate to you, and it helps with your political campaign. So if you need to run like TV ads, you know, you need to travel places, basically anything that requires money, you know, just more promotion and marketing is what it boils down to. So the more donations you can get, the more you can promote, the more people can see your name, and the higher chance that people will vote for you. So it says here that there's actually some people who were already accepting Bitcoin as as donations, and that was Rand Paul. And actually it says Rand Paul accepted Bitcoin campaign contributions during his 2016 presidential bid. And then before that, Jared Polis accepted Bitcoin donations on his 2014 congressional campaign. So there's already some people accepting Bitcoin donations, but now as cryptocurrency gets more mainstream, you have a lot more people, a lot more political candidates accepting Bitcoin as a donation. Even celebrities and everyone are starting to do this. So it says political candidates may be watching the ups and downs of Bitcoin a little more now, because it could be the new frontier for increasing campaign contributions. So it's just talking about, it says, I think it goes without saying, we're going to see a lot more of this in terms of campaign contributions and campaign financing. The campaign manager for Peterson's Senate bid told ABC News. So again, you know, this is just really good news. I think if more people, and, you know, politicians tend to really go out and, you know, market really well. And for them to announce that they're receiving Bitcoin donations, it's going to cause everyone else to research what Bitcoin is, and then kind of, you know, get that talk going, and just kind of, you know, increasing the awareness of cryptocurrencies. So I think this is great. And again, you're right, they say here, it's just another form of payment. So yeah, so I think this is great. And, you know, it's good that more and more people are starting to see Bitcoin as, instead, you know, more than just a novelty. It's actually gaining mainstream adoption, and people are taking notice. So, and who doesn't love profit and, you know, getting free Bitcoin? So yeah, so I think that's good, just looking at political campaigns and, you know, more people accepting that. But for those who didn't see my previous video, I was mentioning that some altcoins that I was pretty bullish on, and just I'll just go over quick ones. Basically it was, you know, Ethereum, Litecoin, Neo, Lisk, VeChain, and Dragon Chain. So those were the coins I was bullish on, and I had some calendar events up, and just gonna hit over those real quick, just to remind y'all. But basically I put the reason I put VeChain is they had a rebranding coming up, and which is going to be February 26th. So again, keep an eye on that. VeChain's been performing really well on the graphs, and it's definitely, I think there's a lot of potential, and we're going to see, you know, any coin that has a rebranding, you always see it rise leading up to that rebranding. So keep an eye on VeChain, definitely something to look forward to. And then Lisk has their rebranding actually on the February 20th. So again, look for Lisk to start climbing again in the next couple of days as we get closer to those dates. And then Z Classic actually was another one I was bullish on. They have their Bitcoin private fork, which is February 28th. Basically, if you hold one Z Classic, you get one Bitcoin private. And Z Classic right now, I believe it's around 90. Let me see what it's at. It's at $94 right now. So people are expecting Bitcoin private to be valued at around $300 based off of other hard forks, Bitcoin Diamond and then Bitcoin Gold. So again, I think Z Classics are going to run up again over 200 like it was as we approach the end of February. And as long as you're holding your Z Classic in a compatible wallet that is supported, does support Bitcoin private, then you will get that 1-to-1 ratio. So if no exchanges support it, then make sure you're looking at those wallets that are mentioned on their Twitter that do support that fork. So there's just something I wanted to cover again so y'all know. Let's see. Lorenzo says, I think investing and owning cryptocurrency is a political act by itself. Not sure about donating it to politicians, though. I want to be removing money from the system. Good for awareness, though. Exactly, Lorenzo. So, politicians, I feel personally that if politicians are asking for donations for Bitcoin, that they have almost a bias or an incentive to promote it because, they want the price to go up because they're getting donations. So again, while it is putting money into, politicians, governments and stuff, I think that, having a currency that will make you rich, the higher it goes in value, I think there's some incentive there for them to help promote it and just, keep going. So there's definitely a double-edged sword there, but I think that overall, like you said, the awareness part is definitely positive. Mr. Frank, hey, what's going on, man? Good to have you here. Good morning to you. So here it's actually nighttime. It's about 11:37 at night, but I know we have people all around the world, so it's good to see y'all. Hope y'all are having a good night or morning wherever y'all are at. And actually, for everyone watching, we have about 17 people in here. If y'all could put where you're at in the world, if you're in the United States or if you're in the UK or Australia or anywhere else, because I know there's people from the Netherlands, Canada, and all around. So if you could just put in the comments, where you're from. I want to see, get some feedback where everyone's from. And because it's cool to see, everyone pretty much in cryptocurrencies just watching the videos and connecting all around the world. So I think that's definitely something pretty cool. Brent's from Australia. Got Australia in the house. Good to have you. And I'm actually from the United States myself. Pieces is Dallas. Pieces, I'm actually not too far from you. I'm about 3 hours away from you in Louisiana. So it's good to see you're not too far away. And then Mr. Frank says, do you think altcoins that did not drop 70% like Dragon Chain have a stronger chance to bounce back harder? So, Mr. Frank, that's a great question. Let's see. That did not drop 70%. So, I think that basically the altcoins that had a great rise before the drop happened are the best candidates for having another great rise as this rally happens. On the flip side, though, any altcoins that drop sharply, they usually are the ones that bounce back the hardest and are the best returns. So, for example, I know Ripple, it did drop hard and then it was kind of rising, for a while, but it seems like it's kind of steadied out. So it's not too much on that. But as far as Dragon Chain, I definitely see Dragon Chain rising a lot more in the future. I mean, it's one of the ones that have double-digit growth. A couple days ago when we had a mini bounce, and it was one of the ones that was actually growing the most. So these coins, that did drop a lot, I definitely see them bouncing back the hardest, the ones with good fundamentals. So for example, I mean, you saw Neo. Neo was way up there in price. And it's already, you can see it's been outperforming most other coins because it was a strong coin to begin with, just like Ethereum. Ethereum was a great coin when it dropped, and it was actually holding its value. So any coin that you can see holding its value during the Bitcoin drop is a coin that I would be holding right now. And that goes with VeChain. VeChain was holding its value really well. I mean, you can see, even just looking at these, these bad graphs here, you can see VeChain actually almost moved sideways here, whereas a lot of these coins, were kind of dropping off. And then you have, Monero, Lisk. I mean, a lot of these graphs are looking good when these coins were dropping off. So that's something to look forward to, basically, the resiliency of coins when Bitcoin is going down. Those are the ones you want to jump in whenever we start on a rally again, because those are going to have the best performance. So quick draws in the USA. Hey, good to have USA in here. Let's see. Mr. Frank is from Groningen, the Netherlands. I'm not sure if I mispronounced that or not, but good to have the Netherlands in here. Cool stuff. And then Pieces says, oh wow, cool. And One Man Army is from California. Good to have California in the house. And Lorenzo says, Dragon Chain is basically Disney, probably one of the most professional teams out there, and US compliant. One of the safest bets in my opinion. So yeah, Lorenzo, so I guess I'll go ahead and go over Dragon Chain a little bit, what it is. Basically what it is, you know, it was started by Disney, and right now it's run by ex-Disney employees. Basically what Dragon Chain does is they provide turnkey solutions for businesses to get involved in blockchain technology. So the main reason why you don't see every business in the world getting involved in the blockchain technology is because it's so convoluted and the technology is so complex that what businesses currently run, like their programming language, like Java, Python, C++, it's really hard for them to convert that to convert that into blockchain because the programming is super complicated. So basically what Dragon Chain does is they convert the blockchain technology into the business's programming language. So they convert it into C++, into Java, so that the business is able to get integrated into that blockchain and they're able to run their companies with it. So like I said, it provides turnkey solutions. It's ready to go and you know they can start it. So that's why you see Dragon Chain on Twitter. They have a lot of what they call incubator projects. So basically they'll have companies, they'll take some startup companies and they'll start ICOs for them. So Look Lateral was one of the companies, one of the first ICOs that they actually had not too long ago. Basically, it's like an art gallery and kind of verifying art and getting involved in that niche. And then now they have Metropolis. That is another ICO that's coming up. And the difference between Dragon Chain's ICOs and others are if you're in the United States, you're able to invest in these ICOs. Because most ICOs now, with the U.S. regulation, you're not. If you're in the United States, you can't invest in them. So Dragon Chain is one of the only companies where you can invest in those ICOs. So Metropolis is going to be pretty big. Basically, with Metropolis, they're trying to get into the global staffing industry market, which is a $400 billion market. And again, they have a lot of projects in the works. So a lot of people on Twitter are bullish about Dragon Chain. You can look it up on YouTube. I made a full video on it, and I see Dragon Chain could be easily $10 by the end of the year. So I mean, this is just a great ICO from the start, and again, I do see it performing very well as we get further into this rally and towards the future. So appreciate that insight, Lorenzo. And then Mr. Frank said, making breakfast at the moment for the day before I go to my internship. Also, Bounty 0x and Oyster Pearl got slaughtered, thinking about trading ETH and NEO for them for quick profits. Yeah, Mr. Frank, it's good. If you find some good coins that you like, and during this time, I mean, they've just gone down 60-70%. Use that opportunity to buy some more. I mean, it's all about getting the best bang for your buck, and usually coins that fall hard are the ones that rise hard when we start rallying. So it's definitely a good strategy there. And then Pieces says, just check the winning numbers. 1721 sequence came in New Jersey, so only 2772 from that sequence. If you want the whole spreadsheet with all 50 states results, check 5 dimes and lottery post. So I'm not too familiar on that, but yeah, I guess if anyone else understands that, some good advice there. And Lorenzo says, I know of OST and Nebel, which are also trying to provide the same service. Dragon has been developing their blockchain for years at Disney, though. They have big connections to, like, Konami. So, yeah, so definitely I have heard a lot about OST and Nebel. So, Simple Token, there's a lot of people that have been was talking about that a couple weeks ago. And you can see, I mean, it went from, 26 cents all the way to a high of, over $1.20. And then we'll look at Nebel here. And Nebel was actually one, Neblio. This was one I actually invested in, and I got a short profit off of it. But Nebel's really come down hard. I mean, 11.25, and it was a high of, over $58. So it came down quite hard. But again, I knew a lot of big Twitter people that were bullish on Neblio. I saw it on a couple, some YouTube chats and some other chats. And again, I mean, the thing, like you said, you know, Dragon Chain is already in this niche and already, you know, having this business model and already have, you know, over 200 incubator projects that they're working on, that I think definitely, you know, it makes it hard when you have a company that has a Disney background and that's already, you know, that far ahead into their partnerships. It's hard to compete with them. So Dragon Chain is one of those, you know, coins that a lot of people are bullish on, and you're going to see people talking about them, you know, as we get, you know, 1, 2, 3 months into the future. So definitely want to keep in mind. But other than that, about 35 minutes in, if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Basically, I just wanted to come on here and, you know, give my thoughts of the market and what's been going on. And again, you know, I mean, it's good to see that we did hit that bottom of about 5,900. I mean, there was some huge bottom at the $6,000 mark. And one other thing that I wanted to mention here was, if you look at the one-day chart, some other people were mentioning this, but if you look at the one-day chart here, you can actually see, and I'll go ahead and take off some of these charts so you can see the volume a little bit better. So I don't know if y'all can see this, but right here where, you know, where I'm have my mouse hovering, if you see that big green candle, I mean, this big green candle here is the highest volume that we've ever had in one day. So, I mean, if you compare this green candle here, and I'll just put my mouse here so you can see it, then if you follow that line to the left, that there's maybe one other day when the green candle was that high. And then other than that, you know, we haven't had that high of volume. So, you know, that's some bullish news right there. And I think that's why we can almost be sure that this was the bottom. I don't want to call the bottom yet because you never know what's going to happen. But I think just seeing that paradigm shift in the FUD going on in all the media and all the news talking negative and people panicking, what really did it for me was when I saw, you know, big Twitter personalities and everyone else who were bullish on Bitcoin, you know, through 10,000, 9,000, 8,000. And we finally got around 6,000 and they weren't bullish anymore. They weren't saying anything and they were depressed. And at that moment, I knew, okay, now is the chance to buy. And I actually was going to buy some at 6,000, but transaction hadn't gone through. I was transferring money over, and the next day it was already at, you know, 7,500, 7,800. So that's when I bought some more. But again, that's when you have to really, you know, take an overview, and when everyone is scared, that's your chance to buy. And because if you're bullish long-term on Bitcoin, which I'm very bullish long-term on cryptocurrencies in general, because I know the amount of people that are invested in these, like big whales are invested in these, a lot of companies, and it's just too much, you know, too many people are invested for them to fail. So I just think that, you know, with the United States having, you know, very positive hearing on Friday and just a lot of bullish news overall, I think it's just been great, you know, to see, you know, what's been going on with that. And sorry, not Friday, I meant yesterday, Tuesday. But yeah, it's very good to see, you know, that. And I think that's why we did have that, you know, since we had this bounce and we've just kept going up from here. So again, something to keep an eye on, and definitely, you know, look forward to in the future. But let's see. So Mr. Frank said, I honestly don't care about the technology. My portfolio is too small to have an impact. It's all about the profits for me. I have been able to pay off my student debt before I finished my uni. Yes, Mr. Frank. So that's good too, because the main thing is a lot of people focus on, you know, technology and everything, which people even said it. You know, I mean, the majority of people just want the returns and don't really care about the technology. I think the technology is kind of a good backing factor and good argument factor for why cryptocurrencies are so bullish, and that why, you know, people save money on transaction costs, speed, and just the whole security aspect of it. So, you know, overall, I think the technology helps push us further into the returns, but at the end of the day, you know, people are just holding to look for those returns. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Brent says, have you heard of Stake United? Brent, I have not heard of Stake United. I'm not sure if I'll go check that out, if that's a coin or if that's, yeah, I haven't heard of Stake United. So if you could elaborate on that, definitely check that out. One Man Army says, what do you think of Quantum? So Quantum, you know, Quantum has been, you know, bullish from from the start. You know, pretty much once they start going, then there was a big rise on Quantum. Right now, I'm actually, to be honest, I haven't followed it too much, so I can't give you an opinion on it. I can say I have seen some people talk about it, but I haven't really seen it around on Twitter or any other platform. So my sentiment on it, I'm just neutral on it, to be honest. You know, all the other coins, you know, like Litecoin, Ethereum, Neo, Vin, Lisk, all those, Dragon Chain, those are just ones I'm a lot more bullish on. And because, you know, they have upcoming events and they have actually, you know, a lot of people are talking about them. And with cryptocurrencies, the main thing, I mean, it's all about hype, basically. And, you know, partnerships, upcoming news, rumors, you know, buy the rumors, sell the news, all that. So I look for coins that a lot of people are talking about. And, you know, it's always good to get in, you know, when a lot of people aren't talking about them, if they have good fundamentals and, you know, a great team behind them. So I'm not sure if Quantum has some upcoming stuff, but if they do, then, you know, it could be a good time to get in if you are looking for that dip. But me personally, I haven't heard too much about it, so I can't give you an honest opinion on it. Lorenzo said, also, if I can chill, I'll suggest to check out Aura and IDEX Exchange, ERC20 Exchange, willing to replace Ether Delta. They have 4 million volume, which will allow staking to secure side chains. So yeah, Ether Delta is, if y'all haven't been on it, it's a really basic exchange. Basically, a lot of ICOs get on Ether Delta first before they get on other ICO or before they get on other exchanges. And it's just a slow platform overall that, you know, it's not user friendly and it just takes a while to transfer your coins over there and all of that. So yeah, if those two places, you said Aura and IDEX Exchange, you know, I hope those can take off because we definitely need some better exchanges than Ether Delta for ERC20 exchange. So hopefully those do take off. So thanks for sharing that, Lorenzo. Mr. Frank said the news in the Netherlands is reporting that there are ATM machines for withdrawing cash money in exchange for Bitcoin in the major cities. Interesting. Wow, that is very interesting, Mr. Frank. You know, it's good to see other places in the world that are adopting the ATM machines where you can exchange for Bitcoin. So I know Japan has over 500,000 stores that they're accepting. You know, they're accepting ATM. They have Bitcoin ATMs, and you know, I think Japan is one of the most bullish places for cryptocurrencies. And then Singapore announced, you know, they're not banning cryptocurrencies. They don't see them as a threat. And then you know, all these this positive news, I think that's great. You know, to see Netherlands is just you know, adding some more ATM machines for Bitcoin. And then Pieces says, I only have marijuana coins, SAS tokens now, waiting on Canada to legalize recreational marijuana in July. California just did the same. Yeah, so Pieces, I made a video on the marijuana coins, actually. I think it was December 31st, or right before California did that. Basically, you know, as more countries, or not countries, but, you know, states and countries are legalizing marijuana, definitely, you know, the main coins, I believe it's POT, THC, and THC, and hemp, and then there's one more, hemp and dope. Those coins. So all those coins, you know, the marijuana coins, the basic ones, those are ones that I definitely see, you know, rising. I know THC was one of the better performers whenever it did. All the coins started performing. So you have hemp coin, then you had pot coin. I know those were two ones that were performing pretty well. You saw these big rises they had. So again, you know, as we get towards those regulations, like you said, with Canada in July, expect a lot of these coins to rise, because for the California legalization, whenever stores started being able to, you know, they started being able to regulate stores and everything, you saw a big rise in these marijuana coins. I think they went up, you know, some went up 100, 200%. Actually, Can was another one, cannabis coin. So this was another one that went up a lot. This one went up. I mean, look at that rise it had. I mean, it went up over 200, 300%. So again, look for the popular, you know, news that's going to come out that's going to hype these coins. And yeah, definitely in July for Canada, that's something to look forward to. So keep an eye on these coins around those times, and just, you know, around the legalization in general, because that is definitely something to look forward to when you do have those specific coins. Let's see. Brent says it's a staking pool. Okay, Brent. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I haven't heard of it. Have Mercy said Quantum is a great project, but they have no adoption, unlike Neo or ICX. So yeah, Have Mercy. Yeah, Neo, has a lot of adoption, and Neo is the Ethereum of China. For those who don't know, a lot of ICOs run on the Neo blockchain. But yeah, you mentioned ICX as well, and ICX Icon is another coin I've seen some people talk about. Right now, it's kind of I think they delayed their mainnet release, I want to say. But Icon is another one people are bullish on, so that's one to keep an eye on. That may rise some more in the future as well. And then, see, Brent says, seems legit, have done a few withdrawals. Hey, that's good, Brent. If it's if it's a staking pool and it's working out for you, definitely check that. I'll have to check that out. So Stake United, I'll actually put that here to check it out later on. So thanks for bringing that up. Let's see, Mr. Frank. Let's see, or actually, Pieces says, indeed, all those you stated, have to watch your video. Yeah, for sure. Just type in, go to my video, type in like top marijuana coins, or is 2018 the year for marijuana coins? I think that was what I titled it as. And I just talk about those coins, and just basically I just say, as you come up to those news events, the coins are going to rise. So Mr. Frank, same for the Netherlands. No interest in those coins here. Yeah, different countries have different rules and kind of different regulations. So some coins may not be as bullish as others. Lorenzo said, I understand going the profit, but man, crypto is a great opportunity to put your money in projects that can make a difference. Marijuana coins seem so trivial to me. Yeah, Lorenzo, I mean, there's all kinds of niche markets right now in cryptocurrencies. I mean, marijuana coins, basically, you have some companies that, use them for like transactions or just technology behind them. They're implementing like a lot of marijuana ATMs, or not ATMs, but like, vending machines and stuff. So that's why some of them are rising. Again, it's kind of more trivial because it's not, such a big thing right now. But I mean, there's so many different coins, and yeah, it's the biggest thing, like I said, is finding the hype. So you find, some big events happening in the world, big laws being passed, and you find a coin that tailors to that. Just like, for example, Substratum. So for those, I made a video, actually, my top 5 ICO coins, and Substratum was in there. And basically what Substratum is, it's a way for this coin. I was writing about it because there was a big thing in the United States about net neutrality. And basically it's talking about the government like repealing net neutrality. And what Substratum does is they offer a decentralized network, basically saying, the internet can't control you. So, and they have their own like network they ran on and everything. And I mean, this was literally like around the time that the government was, this was in December when the government was talking about repealing net neutrality. It was a big deal. So I said, hey, keep an eye on Substratum. And that's when this thing just started running up. I mean, you can see here, it ran up all the way to $2.62. I was mentioning the coin around 60 cents, and, right around here, mid-December, 40, 50 cents. And it just rose up like crazy. So again, look at what's happening in the world and look at coins that offer a solution to what's going on. And that's when you'll find the biggest gains happen. So, and then again, of course, I always, for like, not investment advice, but just saying, I always like to put my money in coins, like some safe coins, just to have that, diversity in my portfolio. So, for example, some in Bitcoin, Ethereum, even a little bit in Ripple, just to get, some of that market just in case. And then Litecoin, and I still need to get some Neo, but, and then, get some of the more, more riskier trades, like the mid cap coins, smaller cap coins. I mean, you have, Lisk, VeChain, Dragon Chain, because those are the coins that are going to provide you with your, 5x, 10x. I mean, once you get way down here, into the lower coins here, and especially, the next 100, 10x, I know that coin's going to be talked about a lot soon. Just looking at that and diversifying your portfolio, that's what I find has provided me with the best returns, and that, I'm always hedged with some Bitcoin. So kind of, you're getting profits on both ends, so to speak. And Lorenzo says, do you keep a part of your portfolio in Tether, DAI, or Fiat? I noticed it comes in handy in times like these. So Lorenzo, that's a really great question. You know, I remember, you know, the Tether FUD was going on a couple days ago. Basically, I believe like there was a subpoena or something with Bitfinex that basically the government was saying, hey, we got to audit you. You know, you've printed all this Tether, over $200 million worth. Do you have the money to back it and all that? And people were getting scared. You know, they're kind of taking their money out of Tether. Long story short, right now I don't have any money in Tether because I used what I did have to, you know, buy some Ethereum actually when it was at about actually 800. So I don't have any Tether right now. But yeah, I mean, I do recommend having something available just in case, you know, for times like these when there's dips to catch those dips. You know, other ways, like for example, you know, if you sell things on eBay or, you know, other ways of making money so that you have that extra money there and you just hold that, for example, for times like these, you could do that as well. You know, I really believe in making money in multiple ways versus selling stuff on eBay, doing free online surveys, making money through there. You know, just different ways to make money and kind of having your, you know, your eggs in different baskets. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, I'd recommend having a little bit money in Tether just so you can catch on these gains. But again, not so much to where you are missing out on all these run-ups. So maybe like, you know, I don't know, 10% of your portfolio or 5% of your portfolio, you know, something a little bit to catch some of this just in case, you know, we do have these dips. So you can get a large portion and still recover some of those losses that you did incur. Definitely could be a good strategy. And then Lorenzo says, also, what do you think about the crypto funds like the ones on Economy? So the crypto funds, let's see, it's like the ones you're talking about Economy. So I'm actually, let me search that real quick. So I'm actually not too familiar with the crypto funds. I know that, let's see, developing blockchain-based management. Yeah, I'm actually not too familiar with the crypto funds, to be honest. I do know that as far as like, you know, Tether is concerned and stuff, I do know there's a coin called Nubits that is does keep $1 pretty much just like Tether does, for those that are scared of Tether. But I'm not too familiar with the crypto funds, so I couldn't give you an opinion on that. So I'll have to actually research that. So thanks for bringing that up. Let's see. Hamza says, what you guys think about Esper's coin prevents DDoS attacks, secured messaging, and blockchain, etc. So Esper's coin, I'll go ahead and look that up. ESP. And Esper's coin actually looks... the only thing I do see a big flag with Esper's coin is just the circulating and the max supply. So you can see here the circulating supply is 21 billion, max supply is 50 billion. So you can see, I mean, the price, you know, super low because of that. I personally don't like to invest in coins that have over 1 billion circulating supply. The main reason for that is just because it takes a lot more volume, you know, to move them. So while it definitely could be, you know, good, you could have a lot better returns. Is ranked 418, so you could have a lot better returns here. For me, it's a little too risky for, you know, greater than 1 billion supply. So that's just my opinion. But, you know, from that, you know, if they do have a good project and they are, you know, trying to prevent DDoS attacks, secured messaging, and everything, then, you know, it could take off. But, you know, a lot of these coins with this much supply, I mean, you know, besides, of course, you know, Cardano, you got Ripple, Tron, all those do have a large supply. You know, unless this really takes off like those, then it's kind of, it's just a little too risky for me. So that's just my opinion. Lorenzo said, these funds are a collection of different coins managed by professionals. Check out BLX, for example. All right. Blockchain index. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So they're a collection of different coins managed by professionals. Okay, so it's kind of like a whole kind of combination. You know, those not too bad. I mean, if it's kind of, I guess if you're saying it's similar to like the S&P 500, for example, it tracks a lot of coins, then I mean, it could be a good way of diversifying your assets. Just looking at this graph here, I mean, you know, from a high of $9 to about 371. Not really much of an opinion on that. I mean, it could be somewhat of a good diversity strategy, kind of like a hedge, if you will. But I have to research it more. But yeah, that is an interesting concept, though, to have, you know, like kind of like accumulation of coins into one coin, kind of like the stock market. So that's something I'll definitely have to look up. Let's see, Mr. Frank says, what do you think of Golden? It's the old Dutch coin before the euro, but it has been very stable coin and growing linearly. So I have not heard of Golden, so we'll go ahead and bring that up. So it looks like it had quite the spike on this last bullish run. It went from about 8 cents all the way up to 45 cents. For me, let me actually pull up like a 1 month. All right, let me do a 3-month chart. I mean, I'd have to do more research on Golden, but the chart looked almost, you know, too much of a kind of like a sharp rise and sharp fall. One of these, I've seen this same chart pattern in eBoost. So if y'all don't know about eBoost, basically they're kind of like for, you know, almost like the gaming industry, like kind of, oh, not gaming, but kind of like tokenization. And basically you see here, you know, I mean, they had a hard rise and a hard fall, more than a lot of coins. So I mean, I have to look at Golden, but it looks like, I mean, it was just, I mean, a hard spike and a hard fall here. So I have to look more into that. Basically, coins that have that kind of action is kind of a little risky for me. I like seeing more of like a steady downtrend versus the hard fall that it had. So I have to look at why it fell that much, you know, minus the bearish, you know, bearish news and everything we had. But yeah, that's one I'll have to do more research on. And then Have Mercy says, any ICO or risky coins? So yeah, so some ICOs, something to look out for in the future. I mean, you got XM Chain, you got WAN Chain. WAN Chain is going to be probably one of the big ones. You got Nucleus, and some of these, you know, the pre-sale's already over, but you got Nucleus, and then I'm trying to think of any other one. Oh yeah, Tradove. So here, I'll go ahead and write these for you. Okay, so you got, let's see, XM Chain, Tradove, Nucleus, and then Tradove, Nucleus, and WAN Chain. Okay, so those are some of the ones that I've seen, you know, promoted a lot, and just a lot of people are talking about those. As far as other ones, can't think of others. I know some coins that are out right now that, because you mentioned risky ones. Oh, Mr. Frank, okay, good to have you, man. And yeah, have a great day too. Thanks for coming in. Basically, for risky coins, so I know there's one Trinity Network coin that some big YouTubers are on, and basically it's kind of like, so it's kind of like what Raiden was for Ethereum, the Raiden network. Trinity is for Neo. So it's kind of like a thing with micro payments, I believe. But I know some people are bullish on Trinity Network. So if you're feeling a little risky, you know, this may not be too bad of a pick. And then other coins, let me see. Let me go ahead and look at the 200s page, 100 to 200, and I'll see if I remember others. You know, Substratum possibly could be one. Neblio could be a little riskier one. Let's see. Oh, High Performance Blockchain. I know some YouTubers are definitely bullish on this one. HPB. And then let me see. And then I also know another ICO that a lot of people were bullish on. Actually, Navcoin was a coin that people were bullish on for a while. So definitely, you know, look at Navcoin. And then Sophia TX. This was a popular ICO. This one, I know people are bullish on. And then I think, let's see, Trendy 8x. So there's actually a lot of coins here, but I think the newest one, one of the newer ones, is actually Medical Chain. This was a really hyped ICO. Basically, these guys are trying to get into the the medical industry, and if you go on their Twitter, they actually have a lot of great team and everything. So I see this coin could be performing pretty well in the future. So this was a big ICO people were looking forward to, Medical Chain, and then you have the Trinity one and TNC, and then you also have I think Origin Trail. A lot of people were bullish on Origin Trail as well. So those are just a couple ones. And then, but yeah, those ICOs that I put, those are definitely ones to look out for. And, again, I believe the pre-sale and all that has already happened for those. So you kind of wait until they get onto the network. I know XM Chain still has their public sale, I believe, as well as I think Tradove. I think Tradove still has one too. But yeah, those are ones I'm pretty bullish on and ones to keep an eye out for. So let's see. Pisa says Dent is SMGT to smart to consider. So yeah, so Dent, that was another one actually I saw on Kucoin that a lot of people were getting, and it showed a lot of good returns. So Dent may be another risky one that you could look out for. I mean, it's ranked 74. 10 billion circulating supply, pretty high supply, honestly. But if you like getting into those riskier coins, then Dent's another one I did see a lot of people talking about. And then have mercy, no problem. Lorenzo said, any suggestions for passive income coins? I know of Kucoin shares, costs, and other exchanges coin, but not much else. Also, have you considered real estate or know any good projects in that sphere? So as far as the coins that provide passive income, besides the ones you mentioned, I'm not too familiar with others. I don't know if Binance actually, I don't think their coin does that, but yeah, other ones I'm actually not too sure on that. And for the real estate one, let me get my phone's ringing. Okay, everyone, sorry about that. Yeah, so basically for real estate, one of the big things, I was actually looking at real estate for a while. Honestly, that was actually one of the first things that I was going to get into is rental properties, and cryptocurrencies kind of fell in my lap at the same time as that, and that's when I got involved in those. It was actually last summer I got involved in cryptocurrencies, but yeah, as far as any good projects in the sphere, I mean, I think for real estate, rental properties are your best bet. I know duplexes can make you a lot of money, just because they are low cost and you can rent out like multiple rooms to different people. So that's a good way to make some money. And then, yeah, as far as that and that field, that was really all I was looking at, just rental properties. So that'd be the best bet for that. Would kind of get you some passive income as well for renting. And if you wanted to get involved in that space, then I would definitely hire a property manager for those rental properties, because if you're away and you have 2 or 3 houses that you're renting out, you want your property manager to always come and check up on those. And I think you have to give them like a 10% fee, like a maintenance fee for managing those properties. But again, I think that's one of the better alternatives for making that passive income. So then Pieces says, I'm studying real estate. Oh wow, small world. And then Lorenzo said, I mean blockchain real estate. Okay. So blockchain and real estate. I got a little off on a tangent there. So blockchain and real estate, God, I actually do not. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with any blockchain that's focused on real estate. That could be an avenue that someone could get involved in. I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of ways to make the whole real estate process easier. You know, as far as like the whole dealing with documents, payments, and all that. You know, it's definitely, I think there's some opportunity there. So if someone did get involved in that, it'd be a coin to look at, because that is, you know, the big market actually. And I think it has a lot of opportunity if someone decides to get involved in that. And then Lorenzo says, all I have is paper money anyway. Hey, it's okay, you know. I mean, you can you can learn, you know, with anything, paper money or not. So it's yeah, it's all learning experience, you know. But so we've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. It looks like Bitcoin has been hovering around 8,000. So again, you know, let's hopefully it stays above this $8,000 level, and you know, continues forward from here. We had to have a couple bullish days, so again, that is good. And we have had higher lows, so that's definitely something good. Pieces says, if you want free courses on YouTube, check Travis Everett in North Carolina and the guy in California. So yeah, so, hey, YouTube is like a plethora of information. I mean, that's where I learned about most of my real estate stuff. Anything you want to find out, you know, it's always good to go on YouTube. And I find myself watching like video after video. I just get on tangents, and just before I know it, I'm spending 3-4 hours on YouTube. I'm wondering where the time went. So yeah, YouTube, you can just get on so much stuff. I mean, I've been live streaming here for over an hour, so it's definitely something easy to get carried away with. But yeah, with that, I guess I'll go ahead and, you know, sign off. Appreciate all of y'all, you know, asking questions, getting involved and stuff. And you know, if you could, you know, give the video a like. If you're not subscribed, just keep in mind, I do give $50 worth of Bitcoin or Litecoin to 2 subscribers. For every 500 subscribers I get, all you have to do is just go to my latest giveaway video that I've pinned on my homepage, and just leave your Bitcoin or Litecoin address. And once I get, you know, 2,500 subscribers, I'll go ahead and make that video and do a giveaway. So it's kind of my way of showing support and stuff. And yeah, I really appreciate all of y'all. We're growing this channel together, and kind of just, you know, making the whole crypto family, you know, bigger and bigger. So I look forward to getting this channel, you know, 10,000, 20, 30,000 subscribers, and then keep going from there and just growing from there. So appreciate all of y'all. And then One Man Army says, you know, thanks for the hang, going to curl up with your wife now. Yes, sir. And then Have Mercy is good night, and Brett said good stuff. Hey, appreciate y'all. And again, thanks for tuning in. Always good to have y'all. And yeah, you'll see me tomorrow. I'll probably make a video update and just continue from there. So good stuff, everyone. And appreciate y'all joining. So till next time, thanks for watching.